Assalamu alaikum dear students, this is your science teacher Miss Kanza, and we were studying your topic chapter 7 electricity and energy. I'm going to give you a quick review that what do we study in the last video. In the last video we covered the topic about what is an electric current, what is an energy arrow, what is a resistance, and how our electricity can be measured. Okay. We all know that energy cannot be created or destroyed, okay? Then we said that electricity can be measured into different form of energy, in the form of light energy, sound energy, and in the form of heat energy. Then we take an example of a car in which we use petrol as a fuel. So for the movement of this car, the movement of this car is measured into a kinetic energy and in sound energy and in the heat energy. Then we talk about the Sandkit diagram. This Sandkit diagram dictates that how is the electrical energy is being converted into light energy and how it is being destroyed in the form of heat energy, that it means wasted. 80% around electricity is being used and about 20% is wasted in the form of heat energy. In this diagram, it is shown that how the energy is changes into different form. In this circuit, we have shown that by the help of a battery in which the energy is being stored, three types of energy is being used: a heat energy which is being wasted, the sound energy, and a light energy. The supply of energy without wasting the electric current is called efficiency, in which the percentage of energy supplied to a device which is usefully transferred is called efficiency. Then we talk about the power supplies and voltage. You already know that what is a voltage. Is the parameter by which we measure the flow of electric current. We measure the voltage by the help of a voltmeter, and its unit is volt. The higher the voltage, the more the electrical component will be shown to flow the electricity. The higher the voltage, the higher will be the electric current. And it will take less than 80 volts to kill a human. This is much lesser than the voltage which was being used in our electricity in our main circuits. Then we talk about the resistance. Resistance is the hindrance of a electrical flow in any of the component. The thickness of the wire is directly proportional that in the thin wire the resistance will be more as compared to the thick wire. Same goes for the metal wires. In the nichrome wire the resistance is more as compared to the copper wire. We measure the units of resistance in the unit called ohms, and by using this formula resistance is equals to voltage over current, and the symbol of the ohm is omega. Then we talk about that how can we control the current. We can control the current by using the resistors, in which we talk about the variable resistors which are being used in the cinemas for the dim lights and fans, and which are of two types. One is a sliding type and one is a rotary type. Okay students, now we are going to talk about your new topic, that is electricity in the home. Many of the electrical appliances in our homes are plugged into socket connected to the main supply, as you all know. Main electricity is produced at the power station by the electricity generator companies, and then it is being transferred to our school, homes, and in our different places. The electricity company supplies two wires to your home. One is called the live wire and the other is called the neutral wire. There are two types of wire. One is the neutral one and the other is the live wire. The live wire is about 230 volts and the neutral wire is about 0 volt. Electric circuits in your home are connected to these wires. You can see here is a company's main supply, and by which the electricity is being converted into different forms, and it is being converted into different places and transferred from one place to another by the help of these two wires which is supplied by the companies. There are about two important differences between using the mains as a supply and using a battery. We all know that in the form of battery or cells, we have a calculated amount of voltage, which is much safer as compared to when we use a supply, the main supply, which has a high resistance of electricity and a high voltage, and an electric shock can kill you. This person does not feel an electric shock because it is safer to use as compared to this. All the batteries and the cell gives a steady voltage because it has calculated electric current in it as compared to the main supply. The main voltage changes direction very rapidly. This makes the current flow backward and forward 50 times in each second. We say that is an alternating current or AC with a frequency of 50 Hz. Hertz Hz stands for Hertz. 1 Hertz is 1 cycle per second. Then we talk about the oscilloscope. Oscilloscope basically is a device in which we can see these lines. These lines are the wavelength which shows that how much the frequency of the electrical current is being shown. This oscilloscope shows that how the voltage of the main supply varies with time. It didn't have a definite shape or any definite or calculated time to flow. As I told you that the main supply, the main voltage changes its direction very rapidly, so it is very dangerous to use electricity from the main supply. Our next topic is safety and electricity. We all know that electricity makes our life very comfortable, but it can be very dangerous if we mishandle it. Fuses. A fuse contains a thin piece of wire which will melt if the current gets too high and leave a gap in the circuit. This stops the current, preventing the overheating of an electrical circuit which may cause a fire. This is a kind of a fuse which is being connected into our main supplies in our homes. This is a fuse which carry a single wire in it, and whenever the voltage or the electric current goes high, the fuse will get burned. So that it's burning, it's very helpful so that it resist from caughting the like from fire. It prevents the fire to get caught so that it burns. The burning of this wire disconnect the flow of electricity. Whenever the fuse is being burned, we replace it with the same correct size of the fuse. Fuses are put in the live wire. We talk about that we have two wires. One is the live wire and second is the neutral wire. So the fuses is being connected with a live wire into the electricity meter in our homes in a box called the consumer unit. Once the fuse is being burned, we have to replace it with the correct size. Anything other than the correct size of the fuse being used can be very dangerous. So we have to use a correct size fuse in order to prevent any danger. Circuit breaker. Some consumer unit have miniature circuit breaker. This is a circuit breaker. You all have seen this in your homes. Some consumers unit have miniature circuit breaker in them instead of fuses. A circuit breaker is an automatic switch which turns off if the current is gets too high. For extra safety, we use the circuit breaker instead of the fuses. These circuit breakers shut down or turn themselves off or get down whenever the voltage or electric current goes too high in order to prevent any further danger. A current circuit breaker is much more useful as compared to a fuse. This is an example of a consumer unit in which the miniature circuit breaker is being placed. Whenever the current or the voltage gets too high, one of the miniature circuit breaker will turn itself off. It by cutting the electricity or the flow of electricity whenever the electric current or the voltage gets too high. Fuses and switches are always connected in the live wire, never in the neutral wire. This is so that they can be used to disconnect the appliance for this main supply. A fuse placed in the neutral wire would stop the current, but someone touching the appliance could still get a shock. This is the reason that we all should be very precautious and we shouldn't go near or touch any electrical appliances. Our next topic is choosing fuses. The main fuse in the consumer unit protect the house circuit from a danger due to too much current. However, we use plugs to connect an appliance to the main wire. So whenever the currents get too high, the fuse wire melts and breaks the circuit and the flow of the electric current. When this happens, we say that the fuse has been blown. Fuses can be purchased which blow at different currents. This is an example of fuses which having a red color that is 3A, that is black, that is 5 ampere and 13A brown, which this is the quantity of the current needed to blow the fuse. The more current more than this will be able to blow the fuse off. A plug is usually fitted with either a 3 ampere, 5 ampere or 13 ampere fuse. This value tells you the current needed to blow the fuse. It must be greater than the normal current through the appliances, but as close to it as possible so that the fuse will blow as soon as the current gets too high. Okay, next topic is calculating current. How can we calculate our current? Electrical appliances are usually marked with their power rating, which shows how much electrical energy is being converted into each second, as in this. Electrical power is measured in watts. We measure the electrical power in watts and in kilowatts. It can be calculated by using this formula. Electrical power is equals to voltage into current. This formula is rearranged. The current can be worked out by current is equals to power over voltage. This is an example of some different electrical appliances in which we have taken an electric drill, a toaster, and a kettle, each of these having a different kind of electrical volts. For example, in electrical drill we have 500 volts, in toaster we have 1000 volts, and in kettle we have 2000 volts. Most often in most of the countries the main supply has 250 volts, so we have estimated value of our neutral volts, that is 250. So what we are going to do, that we are going when we have to calculate the electric current by using the volts which is giving, that is 500, and the 250 voltage which is estimated value. Then we are going to divide it. Then in the toaster we are going to do the same, and in the kettle we are going to same. We have to divide the values accordingly so that we can calculate that whether how much current is being used. And for each of them this much fuse can be used. For the electric drill, we have to use the 2 ampere fuse, the red one, in which in the toaster we have to use 4 ampere, that is the 5A, the black one, and for the kettle we have to use a bigger or larger fuse, that is 8A, that is 13A, the brown one. These fuses can be used in these electrical appliances. Okay, students, I hope that I am clear to make you understand these topics. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.